Page 93, problem number 1 reads, if an intelligence test has a mean of 500 and a standard deviation of 75, find the corresponding z-score for each raw score. Sketch a graph and answer each. Well, before we begin looking at this problem, I just want to sketch a rough graph of the situation over here. So we assume that the scores on this test follow a normal curve or a normal distribution. So I'm just going to sketch over here a normal curve, and I apologize, a little bit messy here. But the average score is 500 points. Standard deviation is 75. Okay, so it looks something like this. So about 2/3 of all people have a score between 425 and 575. Now, what z-scores really are is a z-score will tell you how many standard deviations each of these scores is away from the mean, or the average. So to find a z-score, here's the formula for it. What we need to do is take the score that we're given, so I'm going to call that x, and subtract the mean, or the average. And I'll use mu to show that. And then I'll divide that by the standard deviation. So this will tell you how many points we are different from the standard deviation. Divided by this will make that into a z-score. So for example, this first one, if we go 575, the score that's given, minus the average of 500, divided by the standard deviation 75. If you run through that calculation, you get a score of 1. Meaning this score here is 1 standard deviation above average, which makes sense. It fits our graph right here. 575 is 1 standard deviation above average. All right, let's do the same calculation with this next one, 620. So if we go 620 divided by 500, or excuse me, subtract 500 divided by 75, if we do that, we get an answer. Let me figure that out real quickly here. We get an answer of about, or actually it's exactly 1.6, meaning that score is 620. It's somewhere over here. 620 is about 1.6 standard deviations above average. Okay, so it fits. Let's try the next one. So the next one, 450 minus 500 divided by that standard deviation 75. If you do that, you get a negative score, which is okay. That just means that the score we're given is below average, and it's a negative 0.6 repeating. Meaning that score 450, which is about right here, is about 0.6 standard deviations below average because of the negative. Okay, last one of these. 500 minus 500 divided by 75. And you don't even have to run through the calculation to see that this is a z-score of 0, which makes sense. This score is exactly average. It is 0 standard deviations above or below average, so it makes sense to get a score of 0.